just having a coffee or just just being themselves and enjoying the atmosphere.
Right.
What was like starting up a business at that time, because the economy was a little, it wasn't the safest environment, and there were lots of issues, and to start up a business of that scale, and you've taken quite a few risks also, and you've really ventured out as an entrepreneur. So tell us about your thinking behind that.
I think it was a very difficult journey in that sense, where it's not a normal journey for any retailer or anyone in business, because you're it's through the bombs, it's through the closures of stores, through the people not being able to get to work, through all the disaster around you that may suddenly happen. So it certainly wasn't an easy journey, but I always saw the possibility to improve and to do better. And I think most of all, it is not being disheartened by the things that are happening, and knowing that you can grow and get better. And it was challenge for me rather than for the business, to see how I can do better each day, and what new things I can do, and that was really the excitement, and that is the excitement even today, is how I challenge myself.
Okay. Going back to when it opened in 1999, the Colonial Mansion over Dell. It opened up, and you walked. How did you feel when you first took those first steps to that shop, and you were like, yeah, I did it?
I still remember that, actually, standing in the middle of the store and looking at the store when it was all complete. But it never really appeared to me to be, like, wow, look at this store, or how it's been transformed, or what has been created by all of us as a team, because there were many, obviously many people involved in doing it. But when we had the launch, and when there were so many people that were, there were, I think, over 1,000 people who were invited, and once you see their reaction and how, and what they say, was the time that I stood back to see to see what was there, and then you really think, it is a good feeling.
So you kind of fed on their emotional take on the opening. So you actually look at how they're finished. So did you always picture bigger, better? Even now, do you still feel bigger, more bigger, more bigger? Better?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Is that okay?
Very much so.
It's visualization with you.
Yes, very much so.
And that obviously tends to work. Would you suggest that if I wanted to open up a roti cut or something, visualize a bigger one?
I believe in visualization and dreams and making it happen, and knowing that it will happen, and not letting go of the dreams, and following your dream. I truly believe in that. I always have, and I always will.
All right, on that note, we're going to a quick commercial break on Good Morning Sri Lanka. Visit our Facebook page on www.facebook.com/Good Morning Sri Lanka. Click the like button, stand the chance to win merchandise by MTV. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Good morning and welcome back to GMSL, and we were having a wonderful chat with Uttara, and it's been a great pleasure to have you. Actually, from all the things that we've read about you, I think one of the things that really stand out is that you have an orchid named after you.
Yes, I do.
How did that happen? How did they name an orchid after you?
I'm not sure. The orchid organization, or there's a group of people, and who
the Horticultural and Flora Conservation Society, to be exact.
Yes, thank you. So they created an orchid and named it after me.
Right. So
really good.
Here's what I'm like. If I don't know, I'm thinking that this is how you felt. There's probably a guy going on a date to meet his girlfriend, and he's like, I bought you Uttaras. They're your favorite, aren't they?
I hope that happens a lot.
It's probably happening right now. That's what I'm going to do on my next date. Get me some Uttaras. Hopefully win her heart. With my date's heart, obviously.
Uttara, you were telling us just before the break how you always envision things bigger and better. Is that why you went public with the company? And you were the first female entrepreneur, I believe, to go public. And you had amazing a performance at the stock exchange as well, even on the first day. So why go public?
All about taking the company to another level from being a smallish privately owned company to taking it to the next level of being a much larger public owned company on a totally different platform from where the company was to where it could be, and where it was, all the possibilities that come with being a public company. And so yeah, it was a big step for me to make the decision to do that from a company that I started and created, and then to take it public is it's a big step, and also with how the business is run, how the business is managed, how the discipline, everything of running a company is quite different when you go public. And it can be quite a challenge, but I'm glad I did it, and I truly think it was something worth doing. And yeah,
did you? Let me ask you this: did you always plan on the company going public, or did someone say, what, I think we're ready to go public, and then you were like, okay, yeah, maybe?
No, you have to be ready. I think that's certainly something I would never ever have thought of, even 5 years before it happened, or even 3 years before it happened. But somehow you come to a point of where you have to give some value to the company and make it a much more professional organization, and give it more structure and value, and really make the change from being a privately held company to being a public company, and where a lot of people can have the ability to share, to be a part of, to be able to be a part of Odell. And there were a lot of people who did do that, and that was why it was so oversubscribed, because there were many people who were really happy that they could be a part of Odell, and that was really really good. Really good to see.
Right.
And so yeah, that really was the reason.
Right. Has anyone ever come up to you and said, "Hey, Otara, I own a tiny bit of Odell"?
Yes, many.
Yes. That's a great way to start a conversation. In case you're wondering how to speak to Otara, buy just a tiny piece of stock.
It happens all the time.
Is that also why I believe last year that the company sold 42% of its shares to a Malaysian company and sort of expanded that way as well? Is that part of your plan to go international, or how does that
yes,
plan out?
Again, that's the next. That was the next step of really on the planning growth and expansion, and getting funds into the company to be able to do that, rather than borrowing, going the borrowing route, to have the investment route. And that was really the idea behind it, and to really expand and go again the next step of from where we were to where we want to go. And that was really the idea behind that. And again, it was selling part of more of the company, and another major step for me.
What would you say is the philosophy behind all the work that you do when it comes to your CSR work and Odell and all of it? What would be the philosophy behind each of it?
I think what we say about Odell is mind. The tagline is mind, body, and soul. And so it is really to do about that, about mind, everything to do with the mind and body and soul, and enjoying it, and giving people the experience, the pleasure, the ability to come into one of our stores and enjoy themselves and like what they see, and the whole theatre behind, create some excitement and theatre for our customers, and it's really all about that. It's about giving our customers yes, it's about the product, giving good product, giving fashion, giving style, and the atmosphere, but really giving them an experience that you know, that they wouldn't forget and would love to come back to.
Right, that was in 2004 when, if I'm correct, that Mind, Body and Soul was unveiled by Odell. 2007, Backstage, fashion accessories. Tell me about that.
Again, it's to do with another brand, so it's all about creating you know, new concepts and new brands and private labels for Odell.
Right.
And so that was one of Odell's you know, brands, and it was we had always had accessories, but it was, you know, all over the place, so it was really bringing it together and creating a concept and a brand, and the name Backstage was created as a concept of accessories, where it's like you're getting dressed up in a backstage and then stepping out into the limelight. Right. That was really the idea behind Backstage.
Right. So it has a lot to do with modeling in a way, like inspiration from your modeling career, like Backstage. So the person that comes to Backstage, gets to them, like just walking out, like they're walking out towards
that, again, it was that's the experience, that's the, you know, the experience we want the customer to have, like they're dressing up backstage and then stepping out into their life of, you know, wherever they want to go, a party or office or wherever, but dressed up nicely with accessories.
I'm always curious because I've never been to Backstage though, but is there, like, since you said it was Backstage, is there like a fashion designer who's standing next to you when you shop and be like, go for it, and that's not gonna go for you?
Not quite.
Well, in my world.
But how do you also see yourself as a designer as well? Because there's lots of aspects of art and modern art in the stores and like in the way you display things. So do you consider yourself an artist, a designer, or just like a sort of business-minded person who hires the artists and designers?
It's a combination of all of that, and those are the different roles I play in a day, from designer to creator to stylist to interior designer to businesswoman to accountant to everything. I really think when you're running a business, you and you want I think you need to know to have a good understanding of everything. Yes, you can hire people, but you still need to know, that to be able to guide that person to go the way that you want the company to go, or to create something that you want to have in the stores, in our case. So I think it's really important that you understand everything in the business. Just hiring people and getting them to do things, really sometimes it gets very disjointed if you don't understand it yourself.
Okay, now this might be a question that you've been asked quite a lot, but I'm really curious, and I think a lot of people who are watching are curious as well, because as a woman in Sri Lanka, you've taken on a very, very strong role as a leader and as a corporate head. And when you look at other corporate heads, if you get like a head table, and you would have sat on those head tables. It's all men, then there'll be you. So what is it like being a woman there, and what are the challenges that you face? Do people look at you and do they want to stereotype you? Or it's a woman in a leadership role, she's one of you stereotype, and then they say, okay, you're very unfeminine, but then you're the most feminine person here, right? So how do you fit yourself into that role and people's perception of you?
I don't when I'm there, I'm often in that situation, often the only woman in a room full of men, or a table where it's full of men. But I don't. When I'm there, I play the role of who I am. I'm not there. Yes, I'm there representing a woman, and I'm really glad I'm able to do that and can give